Alright, I'm back. This is exactly... I ended the recording and started a brand new one right away. So I'm just going to Alt F4 out and just ignore all of this. So what we want to do is go to where I save my things, which is here. No, it's not. New volume, Shadowplay recordings, desktop. So this one, this cone here is the video we're currently recording. So this is what we just recorded. Alright, hello everybody. I'm recording this as a time lapse. I'll just mute that, and then we'll go towards the very end, which is pretty much where... Alright, we'll go back a bit. Okay, so now I've just got to find a frame that I really like. So I look through it, and here I want the longbows to be strung. So this is probably a good one, but we can watch it through and see a bit longer. I'm not sure about all those alt bars. I mean, all the health bars. That's also something you don't get in the scenario editor, but like I guess it kind of looks normal. Just give it a play a bit more. Yeah, there's a couple of dead people now. Yeah, I think that looks good. And all the lances are like in different animations as well. So we'll capture this one. So I go full screen and then Control Alt print screen. Right, next what I do is I load it into Adobe Photoshop. And then we'll go new 1920 by 1080. That's my resolution for the image. And then paste it in. Okay, so what I do... Hold on. I normally do this just to crop out the UI of the scenario editor, but I'm not... I could just... Hold on. There's no point in this. I could just go straight to my... This is my 1v1 supremacy template. So yeah, normally I'd put it in Photoshop first and do some like cropping and some stuff. And then I'd save the image when it's done. And then I'd load it into this file. So I'm just going to get rid of that. Some petards on the screen. I'm just going to get rid of those. They were... I actually like got a picture of them and just like edited them in. Because in the actual image, they all blew up too quickly. So there weren't any petards. The explosions came from the ones I put in. But yeah, so we'll just paste this over the top. And now what I do, because it's an image, a really small thumbnail, I jack the contrast up like enormously. And that makes it look very garish when we're looking at it here. But as a thumbnail, it looks much more crisp and you can see it a lot better. I also jack the brightness up quite a bit because I think that looks good on a thumbnail. So there's that. I will leave the brightness at 0 for now though, because what I want to do first is adjust the vibrance. And this, I usually do... Like, it can look quite bad. Like, that looks good for Deccan, I think. I like that a lot for Deccan, because it makes everything a lot... But for some like, maps where there's a lot of green, like Great Plains or Ozarks, that can look really bad. But for water in particular, increasing the saturation is really nice. Now, let's just see if Vibrance does much. Like, that looks better, right? That's not quite as garish. So I'll just increase the Vibrance up by an enormous amount. And then, it does look kind of dark, so we'll just... make it a bit brighter. Contrast can make down to 0, but that's because it's like this is now 200%, which I'm not going to do. So I think yeah, about here looks nice. I don't care too much about the number. It's just use the slider and just see what you like. And then I think we could probably, because it's Deccan, I could probably add some red in here. So or like if I can take red out, which is basically adding cyan. But that now looks like you do that for like I don't like this very much. This is more for like something like Kamchatka. I think it looks good then. Or Siberia. I like to really add a lot of coldness to. But here I think we can get away with a tiny bit of red. So I'll do that. Alright, and now we can put the flags in. So I'll just move this layer down here so the flags pop up. And it actually looks fine. There's that like, I can see here, there's this big area of, like, that doesn't look good. But I don't know what I can do, really. I mean, like, I could do some fancy Photoshop stuff, but, like, it's not worth it. So we'll just leave it in. Oh well, what can you do? So if anyone wants to teach me how to just get rid of it, would be nice to just be able to, like, play the scenario editor, and then, like, when you press playtest, and, like, have a UI that just completely removes everything, so it's nothing except just the game, so you can't input any commands, because there's no UI, and it would just, like, then you wouldn't print screen all this nonsense down the bottom. But this was Spain versus... So if I go to pictures, flags, I have them all saved. Was it Spain? So I'll just bring that in. And they are very small flags, but that's okay because the thumbnail is very small, so you don't notice that they've been stretched. So I'll just drag that up there. Spain versus British, wasn't it? So there we go. Alright. So that's how I make a thumbnail. And this one's ready to go. File, save as, and then put it on the desktop is what I normally do. And I save it as a JPEG because YouTube only accepts, so Gaia, Spain vs Tombo Brit. Oh no, Tombo is Gaia. Whoops. I'll just put versus British. Save, and then this is 2.6 meg, so I'll go down to 11 quality, which is 1.8. It has to be 2 or below, otherwise it won't work. So that's the thumbnail. Save changes, yes. Alright, so thank you very much for watching. Leave a like if you thought that was interesting, and that's how I make the thumbnails. Usually takes between 20 and 40 minutes, depending on how... Yeah, so it does take a while, but as I mentioned, I think it's worthwhile. And a lot of the time, like, I can just batch them. I can just make a whole bunch of thumbnails in a few hours. And I kind of enjoy doing it sometimes, so... And as I mentioned, a lot of the time I just go and get some off the internet as well. Like, these are the ones on Steam, which look quite good. Obviously, I don't... Like, I'll only use... Like, India has to be playing, and I haven't used this one yet, but I will use it eventually. I've used this one. This one I've used, but I'll use it again, because I phased a giant fucking microphone over the top of it, so... no one could even see it anyway, but... Yeah, and then there's a whole bunch on the internet. I was thinking of maybe running a competition, and then, like... Just because I think it would be really cool to see what people can come up with, but also it would be really useful for me to use those pictures if people didn't mind me doing that. And it would make this channel a lot more sustainable as well, because sometimes I do think this is taking up a lot of my time, which I'd rather be spending on doing other things. But for now, it's okay. And thanks for watching, and I will see you all again next time.